Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the Pioneer 2K RCQ AIQ hosted by Apex Gaming. I'm Tandy, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
We have 8 players already locked for top 8. They have all drawn. Ross, you want to give us a quick rundown of the players and archetype before we move on to the feature match for this round?
Yeah, it was a clean cut here at X1, drawing into X11, but the good news is when we get to our top 8, it is 8 distinct archetypes.
Awesome.
I noted
that's Pioneer, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we had 2 Rakdos players live for top 8 going into the last round. One of them lost, so that created the situation where we have 8 distinct decks. So congratulations to Evan Smith on Mono Red Wizards, Dylan Ham on Rakdos Midrange, Jason Taylor on 4-color Auras, Cody Vanderveer on Abzan Greasefang, Ruben Wild on Grixis Archfiend, Guide Johnson on Mono Black Midrange, Joe Watson on Gearhulk Creativity, and Joshua Milliken on Rakdos Sacrifice. So that's going to be your top 8. Tiebreakers could still shift and affect the standings, so we don't know exactly what the matchups are. Yeah. We'll bring you that, going into those quarterfinal matches. But for now, we still have one more round left to cover. There are players still playing for top 16, and that is $65 in this tournament. So they got a little money to play for, and we're going to be watching some of them. And we're going to be watching the most fun deck in the tournament.
Ignus?
Yeah.
Grinning Ignus again? 3 Ignus? Let's go. Okay, so we'll get more into the prize and stuff people are going to be playing for next round, but let's just go and head down to the feature match area. I don't want to make these players wait any longer than they have to. We literally only have like 12 people playing Magic this round. There's like the top 5 tables drew because it was a clean cut for top 8, and then table like 5 and 6 maybe even drew because it was like locking them for top 16.
Yeah, so you've got Daniel Ash here on your left. He's playing the Grinning Ignus combo. On your right, Connor Roth, the Rakdos player who was unfortunately eliminated from top 8 contention last round, taking his second loss, but still has something to play for here, trying to make that top 16. And we've seen the Grinning Ignus deck twice before. They were able to crush Angels, with low interaction, lost to Guy Johnson on Mono Black with high interaction. This is another high interaction deck, so we'll see if he can pull out a matchup that seems a lot tougher.
Unfortunately, we also got my boy TJ in the back left in the dead bracket, but still fighting it out for top 16.
Yeah, man, maybe he can come away with some cash on the weekend. Had the O2 drop yesterday, lost round 1 today.
Oof. All right. On your left, Daniel Ash with that Grinning Ignus combo. Connor Roth on your right, playing Rakdos Midrange. Many consider to be the best deck in Pioneer. And we're ready to go.
Not the best deck anymore. We finally figured out that it's been a fraud the entire time.
Oh, yeah?
Can't even beat Spirits.
Can't even beat Spirits. Spirits, too good. Unless Alteration beat it, though.
Yeah. That's going to save a combo. Combos are great.
True. All right, Haunted Ridge is the first play for Connor Roth. That's tapped.
That's why we're watching Daniel Ash for the 3rd time today.
Taking a Florahedra on the land for Daniel Ash, or the creature for Daniel Ash that looks like a prime candidate to get the big old foot.
Big stomps.
Right
foot, right stomp.
Rich. All right, left foot, left stomp. Fly to the left. All right, we're gonna get DMCA again. Okay. All right,
to the right.
Here's a blue source here. Here's Risen Reef. This is a nice little card advantage engine. Everybody clap your hands.
Oh, we're losing it.
All right, well, we are watching Grinning Ignus for the 3rd time today, so I can't blame us, either of us.
That said, Risen Reef, a very good card in this matchup. I think there's another stomp in hand for Connor Roth. And that's a great answer to the Risen Reef. There's the left foot, left stomp.
Yeah, right foot, left stomp. All right, back to Daniel Ash. We do have land number 4 and a go. Unfortunate, no play with 4 mana.
Really just very unlucky.
So unlucky. Connor Roth here, taking a look, knowing that Collected Company is coming, just trying to figure out what's the best way to mitigate the damage, and should I hold up a bunch of mana to kill stuff, or should I play Shieldred? Should I play Bone Crusher Giant? We'll see.
Is there an instant that is less disguisable in the history of Magic than Collected Company?
Mana Tithe.
Oh, all 1 mana instants are disguisable.
Every single... Oh, less disguise. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's impossible to disguise Collected Company because your deck is all creatures, so you always play at sorcery speed, and suddenly this turn, with a bunch of cards in hand, you didn't. It's just impossible.
I don't know what to tell you. You're right. Yeah. You're right. It's always telegraphed. Here's a Coco end of turn. We're going to go Risen Reef trigger. We're going to do a life off of the Prosperous Innkeeper. We are going to get a treasure and back Daniel Ash's way.
Yeah. So even though Connor was able to keep the board clear early, Daniel Ash with the Collecting Company, a second Risen Reef, is generating a bunch of card advantage of his own. Looks to have another Collecting Company hand. And, could run away with this game in a fair way.
Could just kill this turn. Here's Collect the Company. We're going to be looking for some combo pieces, leaving open a red source. So if we hit Ignus and another way to generate mana like a Burgie, we can kind of go off.
Yeah, Burgie Ignus would be good.
Mass Vandal and Grinning Ignus is the pickup. The Mass Vandal, I believe, is Changeling, so we'll trigger the Risen Reef. Ignus is an Elemental, so we'll trigger the Risen Reef.
Yep.
And so we're going to get a couple triggers there. We're going to gain some life off Prosperous Innkeeper. And this is kind of nightmarish for a Rakdos player because every single creature is just like drawing a card every time it comes into play.
And we can even just use the leftover red mana, bounce the Ignus, replay it, get another Risen Reef trigger this turn.
Right.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Not doing anything else with it.
I think that is a big part of the deck. Just every red mana, when you have Ignus Risen Reef, is just draw a card.
With this many lands in play, I might even just pop the treasure to do it as well. Gaining the 2 life from the Innkeeper.
Yeah, because if you hit lands, you just get to play those as well. So yeah, big fan of just doing Ignus stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And we get a Risen Reef.
Elvish Mystic might want to play that with the treasure instead of Ignusing again, but maybe not. Yeah. I just want to get my value.
Same.
Going to 24 now with another trigger of the Innkeeper, another Risen Reef trigger. Okay. Decides to keep the treasure around.
Maybe forgot about it, honestly. All right, we have a Fatal Push in hand for Connor Roth. Shield Red, 4 mana. Looks like another Left Foot Left Stomp.
Daniel Ash over there with like 6 cards in hand, 6 lands, 4 creatures. Oh yeah, it's just turn 5.
Well, that's what happens when you go EOT Coco and tap Coco.
Good movie.
Coco? Yeah. Also my favorite character from Foster's Imaginary Friend. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend, excuse me. You probably don't know that one, though.
I do not.
Like a mid 2000s cartoon. It was very good.
Children here, a solid card to dominate the battlefield. Notably, Risen Reef does not draw cards. You put the card into your hand, so it will not trigger Shieldred. I think I also see another Risen Reef in Daniel Ash's hand. At this point, I would be almost surprised if he doesn't have the combo. Did we just never find a cost reducer?
I think we have a Burgie in hand.
And there is a Fatal Push in Connor Roth's hand, but I don't think that breaks anything up. All the combo pieces cost more than 2 mana, and there's no way to turn on Revolt.
All right, well, in the tank here, we have a lot of options. We're going to start off. We need to hold as much red mana off to the side as we can. I think we have a ton of blue-green lands. Here comes Burgie. Now this, with the Grinning Ignus combo, is going to allow us to essentially draw our deck.
Yeah, and this is why I think Daniel wanted to hold that treasure, because that's his second red source, so very wise of him to not...
any spell creates a red with Burgie as well.
Oh, so. True. So the elf would have done it as well.
All right, so we're going to get a red mana from Burgie. And now every time we do the Grinning Ignus, we are gaining a red mana. And then with Risen Reef, we essentially get to draw our deck. And that should be enough. Connor Roth does have Fatal Push in hand, but no Revolt to turn things on. The red mana to bounce, and then recast with the mana that it makes.
And so now we just need to find the 3 mana kill condition. Whose name escapes me, but it is a singleton.
Yeah. All right, so we're making, I guess we're actually gaining mana instead of breaking even. So we're just doing the, I guess we want to gain mana. I feel like this is almost unnecessary to play the Address Monument, but maybe we just do it.
There's the Witty Roast Master, so that will end the games. 2 and a red, 3/2.
No, that's not the Roastmaster. No? That's the 4-drop. That's the name. It's the kill
Defiler
condition.
of Instinct.
Yeah, and when you cast that, you get a red mana. You use that red mana to play the Ignus. The Ignus makes red mana. Yada 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 yada. We gain infinite life. Oh no, we killed my infinite life generator.
Don't care, you're dead.
Okay,
you're dead.
All right, one ya. 20 times. You're dead.
Every single previous person that Daniel Ash has comboed on camera has had to call a judge. Let's see if Connor Roth can make it 3 for 3.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. Bonka S, as they say.
That said, as a combo lover myself, I know my favorite part of playing combo is explaining to my opponent how they're dead.
Yeah.
Like, I see. What you don't know is that I am much cleverer than you. And I have put
All right, looks like we're back. Everyone in chats, give us an F if you can see the stream. We are back though, and
Just
we
in time
are
for the start of game
underway. All right, let's head down to the match and see who takes it down. We got Daniel Ash on your left with Grinning Ignus combo. We saw them win game number 1. Connor Roth on your right with Rakdos midrange got clapped by the Ignus combo, and we're well underway here for game number 2.
And first elf gets met by another right foot let's stomp. But Eleanor elves to replace it for Daniel Ash.
Yeah, but he dead too. Oh,
No,
Tommy
he's
was
not.
safe keeping.
Tommy would say no.
Tomio, say relax. We
That my
game
friend.
2.
Okay.
Blood Harvester gets a blood.
It's
We're
like-
back Daniel's way.
I thought I saw Graveyard Trespasser in Connor Roth's hand. I'm not sure what the other card is.
All right. Daniel Ash's way had 1 creature killed, protected the second. Now we have 3 mana. We drew
Also,
something good for the turn.
looks like Connor Roth started this game on a mulligan. He's got 3 lands, the Bone Crusher, the Push, the Blood Tithe Harvester, and now 3 cards in hand on turn 4. So yeah, I must have started on 6.
All right. Treadboard drawn for the turn. It looks like an artifact in hand too. Do you think that's a Pithy Needle? Do you think maybe we have made some judgmental errors?
Potentially. I don't know if Roth has Pithy Needles in his sideboard, but I'll check out the list.
All right. Well, Roth is lining up this Dreadbore. Let's see if he wants to kill the Burgee or if he wants to kill the Elf. My guess is Burgee. It does generate a bunch of mana, but maybe Dreadbore, Burgee, and then Blood Tithe Harvest of the Elf would have been a nice sequence.
There is a Pithy Needle in Connor Roth's sideboard, so that's what I believe that is. Unfortunately for him, Grinning Ignus is a mana ability, and Pithy Needle does not stop mana abilities.
All right. Well, we're going to get a piece of needle down here. We'll get confirmation from the spotter on what it's naming, and if it is Grinning Ignus, we're going to have some bad news for Connor and maybe in just a few turns. Daniel's way draws a card. No third land still. Does find an elf. Has a bunch of 3-drops in hand. Let's see what he wants to deploy first. He has Prosperous Innkeeper as well, so that plus elf could be a great turn. Here's a treasure. And here's an elf and a life gain.
Well, Connor Roth trying to help us out by that slip of paper on the needle, but I cannot read what it says.
Okay. Back Connor Roth's way.
And just Daniel Ash doing his normal stuff, just playing a bunch of mana creatures in the early game. We'll hopefully find some collected companies to dig through his deck and set up the combo, but also not a ton going on Roth's side after the mulligan and now the Pithing Needle. So Daniel Ash could potentially win this game fair, but is going to have to grind through several big creatures like this Blood Tithe Harvester, the Bone Crusher, and the Graveyard Trespasser in order to do so. Okay, Harvester going to take out the Prosperous Innkeeper. And now I think we'll see the Trespasser come down, and indeed we do.
All right, we have confirmation from the table spotter that Pithy Needle is on Grinning Ignus. So unfortunate for Connor, but this is not the first time this weekend we've seen Pithy Needle try to name a mana ability. And folks at home, just remember, make sure your Pithy Needle is being used for a non-mana ability. That's very important.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that Daniel Ash knows that Grinning Ignus is a mana ability.
I would also bet as well. All right, here we go. Back Daniel Ash's way. We got mana being tapped here. Sacrificing the Treasurer. We're going to play the Defiler of Instinct. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Defiler of Instinct. Okay, so this is the 4-mana creature. Let's get it on. Normally, this is killing the opponent when it's being cast or put into play. At this point, though, it might be like a way to do some chip damage, or at the very least, just like brick wall the Graveyard Trespasser.
Yeah, could also trade with this Bone Crusher Giant
Yeah.
that is currently on an adventure.
All right, we're gonna go discarding the Lava Glide pathway, or not the Lava Glide, the pathway, Bicep pathway.
Secret Seer Step pathway.
Yeah. No one knows. I don't think anyone on Earth knows all 10 pathways, front name and back name, without looking it up.
I feel like at this point I could get you like 16 out of 20.
Yeah. But you can't
not-
give me 20
Yeah,
out of 20.
not 20 though.
20 out of 20 is hard. We don't see the backsides enough, and we don't play like every single color combination. Here's a Burgie, and we're going to attack with the Defiler. I think it has first strike, so pretty difficult to block. It's going to just pump you for 4.
Secret first strike on that one.
Secret first strike is still the first line of text. Says it for right there. Now, granted, it has 87 other lines of text, 4 other abilities. Connor Roth contemplating. This is game number 2. We haven't updated the game counts. I think we had a issue with our stream earlier, and our spotters got swapped as well. So
Defiler Instinct, indeed a 4-mana 4/4 first strike. Whenever you cast a red permanent spell, deals 1 to any target, so that could deal a little bit of extra damage. Could, if Daniel Ash saves up some red permanent spells, could end up, picking off something like a Blood Tithe Harvester.
Wow, interesting double block here from Daniel Ash. Blocks with Bergie and the Elf on the 4/4 Graveyard Glutton. Now, follow-up of Kroxa going to make Daniel Ash discard one of his last 2 cards, pitches the Hazoret's Monument, and Kroxa goes to the graveyard and is threatening to come back next turn.
Yeah, I think Ash's double block was meant to clear the way for this Defiler, so there couldn't be a double block of Bone Crusher and Graveyard Trespasser at some point, but instead ends up setting up Connor Roth's Kroxa, which is going to completely dominate this battlefield.
All right, there are 5 other cards in the graveyard for the Kroxa, so it is threatening to come back next turn. So Daniel Ash has a big reason to get empty-handed quickly. I'm not sure how accurate life totals are. This is the 2nd time the Defiler has hit, and I don't know if Trespasser or other things gained that much life, but maybe the Glutton Trespasser did.
There was a Glutton attack and the ETB, so I think it's gained 3.
And no Fatal, no Thoughtseize either. So okay, all right.
Now the downside of Daniel Ash having traded away the Bergie there is now his Grinning Ignus top deck isn't good. Whereas before it was just lethal.
Okay, didn't have the untapped blue mana for the Risen Reef and had to discard to the Kroxa, so things turn around in a hurry. Connor Roth looking to dominate the rest of this game, and Connor Roth is going to keep the Pithing Needle in his deck, more than likely thinking that it does stop the Grinning Ignus combo, so could just fall into the same mistake next game.
So this is a 9-point attack from the Kroxa. It'll drop Ash to 6. Really needs to find something on the next turn. Has 4 mana, though, could rip Company into Bergie Ignus.
All right, here's a big attack. Kroxa coming in with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. The Bone Crusher Giant's getting checked by the first striker. The other 2 can either be chump blocked or not blocked. So here comes essentially a 12-point swing. No card to discard in hand, so that's 3 and then 9 from the attack.
Let's take it and hope to rip Company into the combo.
Yep. No harm, no foul. Ouchers.
I guess, yeah, Hive gets exile a card. We'll take a non-creature for Graveyard Trespasser purposes.
Okay.
I think we will be going to a game 3. Once again, Daniel Ash able to win game 1 in the mid-range matchup and struggling in the post-board games once the opponent gets a little bit more disruption, gets a little bit better feeling of what the deck is doing, though we know that Connor Roth has a mistaken idea about how Grinning Ignus interacts with Pithing.
Yeah, luckily it is just a singleton, so maybe it won't come back to bite him. But we did see it happen in that game, and there was nothing to punish him so that he would learn that it didn't work. And so it just could come up again, especially on a mulligan or something with like low end resources. So
yeah, that would be a sad way to end your tournament.
All right, this is the final round of Swiss, but as we said earlier, right now these matches are kind of just playing for top 16. We have 8 players already locked into the top 8. Their final standings will be based on their tiebreakers, and we'll be bringing you all the top 8 as soon as this round is finished. Ross, why don't you take a look at these players' sideboards and give us an idea of what they're going to be bringing in.
So Connor Roth on the Rakdos side has the Pithing Needle that we mentioned, 1 Unlicensed Hearse, 2 Ratchet Bomb, 1 Reckoner Bankbuster, 2 Extinction Event, 1 Rending Volley, 2 Necromentia, 1 Go Blank, 2 Duress, and 2 Kolaghan's Command. I really just like the Necromentas. Very good. If you can just take Grinning Ignus out of the deck, and they like to keep it in their hand because you don't want to expose it to removal unnecessarily. That means the Necromentas are going to be very live. So definitely want to bring those 2 in. Hopefully they are already there.
Yeah. All right. So on the other side of things, though, we have the Rakdos deck, and we saw the Pithing Needle come in, and the Necromentas are going to be quite good there. But what about the other side?
So Daniel Ash has 3 Abrade, 2 Cemetery Prowler, 2 Nissa Stored of Elements, 2 Outland Liberator, 2 Rending Volley, 2 Scavenging Ooze, and 2 Tamio Safekeeping. Love the Safekeepings. We already saw that in game 2, and I love the Nissas just to help grind against all this removal.
All right, well, the match is underway. Let's go ahead and head down to the feature match area for game number 3. Llanowar Elves meets its end via fatal push. Carplusion Forest, the land for Daniel Ash.
A painful mana base for Daniel Ash, and if I'm Connor Roth, I'm thinking there's probably no third land there.
All right, should be 19 instead of 17. Got that updated. Okay, turn 2, no play for Daniel Ash, but a graveyard or Blood Tithe Harvester for Connor Roth, and we're back to Daniel Ash's way. His deck full of 3-drops, keeps missing the third land and keeps getting his elves killed. Big Sag.
Yep. As I suspected, no third land for Daniel Ash, but the elf could potentially help. But instead, it's going to be left foot, let's stomp.
All right, so an attack for 3 is going to put Daniel Ash down to 18. Now, Connor Roth, Stompy Stomps, elf down, and a third land tapped. And we're back Daniel Ash's way. Let's see if he can find the third land to start deploying the cards in hand. It enters tap, Hinterland, Harbor. Those buddy lands, the check lands as we used to call them, extremely bad when your lands don't line up properly, and that third land entering tapped is probably going to be game over for Daniel Ash.
Have to imagine that would be better as a pathway.
Have to imagine, shut up.
A bark channel pathway?
Yep. And what's the backside?
Tide channel?
You know, I think that's right. That's nice. Because not a lot of people play the blue-green pathway. That one might be the hardest one. Although I do love bark channel, though, you know, because of, you know, doggos.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the easiest one.
Okay, here's a graveyard trespasser for Connor Roth. That's a great play here. You've got your opponent on the back foot. It's time to go for the jugular and put some pressure on them.
All right, Daniel Ash going to be tapping his lands for a Cemetery Prowler.
Well, I like this one out of the sideboard too. It's a creature that can rumble. Let's put
It
that one
also
on the screen.
has cost reduction for the creatures,
Oh, yeah.
so it actually can be part of the combo.
Ooh. Are we exiling the fatal? Do we have to exile it from their graveyard with it?
I'm honestly not
think you
sure,
can
but
exile.
maybe he's got Collected Company he wants to reduce.
Yeah. Because exiling creature is not only better for your combo, it also takes food away from your opponent's trespasser.
Right. All right. 3/4 blocker. Let's get the Cemetery Prowler on the stream because that's one we don't see too often, but it's quite powerful for 3 mana.
Yeah, this is a card I thought would be a much bigger player in Standard when it was first previewed. And just never really found a home.
Yeah. Turns out a 3-mana thing that reduces the cost of your next play, not really that big of a deal in any format, right?
Yeah.
But Cemetery Prowler here looks kind of nice in the Grinning Ignus combo for a couple of different reasons. But here we're making the instants in our deck cost 1 less to make Collected Company 1 cheaper.
And a flooded hand here for Connor Roth. 3 lands and another trespasser. Not really going to help. Oh.
So we're going to hit, I think we're going to do the 1-2 punch to kill the Prowler here. I believe we're going to be blocking with Prowler and then post-combat using the Blood Tithe Harvester to kill it. And if you're Daniel Ash, you got to love this trade, huh?
Yeah, but if you're Connor Roth, just got to do what you got to do, I guess. I would have almost liked just a untapped land, fire up the Hive attack, and then go to Knight. Now I've got a 4/4 and a 3/3 menace.
Sure. That would have been cool.
But you're also probably expecting a collected company, and you're trying to stop that.
All right, well, Roth here going to be playing Bone Crusher Giant.
Bone Man too, okay. Yeah, we could have fired up Hive, and then next turn had Bone Man plus Trespasser, but that would just get you back to day.
All right, 4th mana, Bark Channel Pathway. Guess he has pathways in his deck already.
Okay.
And here it is, the Collected Company. This got to be a good one. I don't love doing it main phase since I don't think you can kill. This gives a little bit more information to the opponent than I would like. We do hit a Prosperous Innkeeper though, so if we can do something with 1 mana, that treasure could be valuable. We'll also be gaining a life. It's going to put us up to 10, and Burgie can maybe do some work next turn.
Yeah, no interaction for Connor Roth either. So if Daniel Ash has the goods, and you got to expect his hand is pretty good if you kept such a land-light hand, and kept drawing more spells to miss those land drops. So this could be a game that looked very bad for Daniel a couple turns ago that turns around rather quickly.
All right, looks like we're just making sure life totals are correct. Both players checking their life pads, making sure that all the mana confluences were counted, making sure that we're hitting the Prosperous Innkeeper. And it looks like they have decided that 9 is money. And we should be getting a... This also might be with some triggers on the stack, because I think the Prosperous Innkeeper still needs to get the treasure. But maybe Daniel missed it. Unfortunate.
Oh, but still no interaction for Connor. Just finds another Blood Tithe Harvester and a Shieldred. So we can deploy both of those with the Blood Crypt and just kind of hope.
Yeah, might be dead though, but I like doing it.
If you attack Daniel to 5 with the Bone Crusher, then you make him take 2 with the Shielder to go to 3. Gonna have to probably go to 2 to use the Mana Confluence. Basically can't draw an extra card at all.
Yeah.
Now you do have the life gain from Innkeeper.
All right, well, let's see what Connor wants to do. Could go Harvester and then sack Blood Token to draw a card immediately and maybe find some piece of interaction. If we fire up the... Okay, the Hive of the Eye Tyrant coming in. This is going to be an attack for 7. And if I'm Daniel, I just don't block. I just take 7, go to 2, cross your fingers, hope you kill him on the next turn.
I see 2 Hazardous Monuments in Daniel's hand, so if he has...
He has
the
Ignus as well.
Yeah, and it has Ignus. I think this is locked up.
You know, he did miss the treasure token from the Prosperous Innkeeper, and that might come back to haunt him.
Yeah, because he needs 5 mana. Because the Ignus will give him a 1 mana rebate on the first 3-drop.
But then Bergie gives a mana, and there's a cost reduction, so 1, 2.
Yeah, so you actually,
I think
you're fine.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, play Hazardous Monument, have a red from Bergie, red plus your 4th land, cast now a 2 mana Grinning Ignus because of the monument cost reduction. That gives you a red from the Bergie. Use that red to start the loop.
Okay. Let's see if Daniel goes for it. He's at 2.
Now,
Or potentially going to 2.
Now, that is not a play that is going to literally win the game. Oh.
Okay, I'm down with a chump.
But that means we could have just gained infinite life. Now we don't.
We don't need to gain infinite life. We just don't want to die. I don't know, man. I don't mind the block. All right, found the land. I think this all but solidifies it.
Yeah, because with the Hazardous Monument, we dig through our deck.
Okay, so Hazardous Monument is... Can we get Bergie on the screen? I'm pretty sure Bergie is any spell you cast, you get a red mana. But I'll double check. Okay, so whenever you cast any spell, you get a red. We're going to go to 4 from the Mana Confluence. Bergie gets a red. We're going to pay 1 colorless and play Ignus and get a red. And now we get infinite ETBs and infinite loots, and there's no punishment. And with we have a card in hand that lets us continue the combo. I'm not sure if we have enough mana to actually... Are we gaining mana here?
Yeah, we're gaining a colorless each time on this loop, so we just need to find...
the one we always forget.
Yeah, the Toastmaster.
Roastmaster General.
Witty Roastmaster.
Witty Roastmaster. All right,
there it is.
No, that's the 4-drop.
No. Oh, we...
And then we get an extra red, and it's still cost reduced, and then we get another red from the Bergie, and that's going to be game. Daniel Ash takes it 2-1 in fiery fashion. Connor Roth making a couple questionable decisions there in the mid game, but mostly the story is them flooding out there super close to the end of the finish line. Couldn't quite get it done.
Just needed 1 or 2 more pieces of interaction, and instead just kept finding threats.